overwhelmed. Mark woke the next morning still overwhelmed, the echoes of celebration lingering in his mind. The night before had been a blur of cheering, laughter, and the weight of 2 newly won trophies in his hands. As he stepped out into the streets, the sudden wave of attention from the locals, people stopping him for selfies, congratulating him, calling his name, reminded him just how much his work had meant to the island. Yet beneath all the joy lay a quiet promise Mark had made to himself on the very first day he took the job. His mission, his rule, almost a personal code, was always the same wherever he went: build a team capable of conquering every domestic trophy, and once the mission was complete, move on. No lingering, no second act, just pure purpose. And now, within less than a single year, that mission was accomplished. He had brought Naha the cup. He had brought them the league. With both trophies secured, the club finally held what he had come here to deliver. Now, he could tell the board what they already suspected. When Mark first signed with the club, he had insisted on a clause that allowed him to leave freely once the trophies were won. And now, with silverware gleaming in Naha's trophy cabinet, that time had come. Mark's decision. A few days after the final match of the season, Mark arrived at the boardroom for what everyone knew would be the meeting. Calm, prepared, and with a heavy yet determined heart, he told the board members his plan. He would leave on top, trigger his clause, and step away on a free. The board had already heard the rumors, but had quietly hoped they were untrue. They pleaded gently, respectfully, reminding him how much progress they had made, how much more they could achieve together. But Mark's mind was already set in stone. This was how he worked. This was who he was. When they realized they could not change his decision, the board members shifted from persuasion to gratitude. They congratulated him warmly, sincerely, thanking him for everything. The trophies, the renewed spirit, the professionalism, and the belief he had revived within the club. Their sadness mixed with admiration, and Mark felt both humbled and proud. They asked him to speak with the players, and Mark agreed immediately. He walked out onto the training pitch, where the other coaches gathered the team around him. Mark told them the truth. None of the success belonged to him alone. The trophies were theirs, won with teamwork, unity, desire, and an unwavering belief in one another. He thanked them deeply for their trust, discipline, and the passion they had shown throughout a remarkable season. Then, with visible emotion, he told them he had decided to part ways with the club. Not because of them, but because his mission required it. He urged them to stay united, assuring them that if they continued playing with the same heart and spirit, more trophies would surely follow. The team applauded him one final time. One by one, players and coaches stepped forward to shake his hand, hug him, and thank him for everything he had given them. It was a farewell filled with respect. Mark leaving. Returning home afterward, Mark began packing his things. He folded shirts, sorted documents, tucked away old notes and tactical plans. Each item a small reminder of the journey he had just completed. He was preparing himself mentally and physically for the next chapter. Another challenge. Another mission. Did he know exactly where he was going next? Oh yes, he knew. Fast forward. Mark's next stop was New Zealand to take charge of a tiny club named Upper Hutt. A team with no trophies, no history of greatness, nothing but potential waiting to be discovered. Upper Hutt had just finished fourth in the Central League, a league structure larger and far more complex than Mark was used to. New Zealand football was divided into 3 regional leagues: Central, Northern, and Southern, each with 10 teams battling for only 3 coveted spots in the National Championship playoff. Only one team across the entire country could lift the trophy in the end. For Upper Hutt, finishing in the top 3 of their region already looked like an impossible task. For Mark, it was the kind of challenge he both feared and relished. Would this adventure in New Zealand prove to be the hurdle he could not overcome? Would he eventually be forced to give up, admitting that the mission this time was simply too difficult? Or would he, yet again, find a way to defy the odds and conquer everything? Only time would tell.